there's two types of ways to make money. One, let's consider money butterflies for the sake of the illustration, right? So let's say you want to catch butterflies. Butterflies equate to dollars. There's two ways that you can gather butterflies. The first way is build a net, right? Build a massive net. It doesn't matter how optimized the net is. It doesn't matter how sophisticated it is. You always have to swing in order to catch butterflies. That's most people hustling, right? They have to clock in, they have to post, they have to sell a promo in order for them to make money, in order for them to catch butterflies. That is not efficient. That is hustling. Why? That's where most people start, but you need to develop a second skill set, which is how to attract butterflies. How do you attract butterflies? By building a garden. Now, it might sound like a foo-foo concept, but if you build a garden, that means you need to build an ecosystem. You're building an ecosystem. Now your goal is to figure out how to make it all congruent, how to make sure people buy into that ecosystem and they don't leave to other gardens. You look at Amazon, that's a fucking garden, bro. That's a self-sustaining garden. They run, it's not just the Amazon platform. They run a plethora of platforms. Amazon AWS, IMDb, they have the Amazon Prime, ebooks. It's an ecosystem of what? Attracting money. So the concept of going from hustle to boss is, instead of working in your business and catching the butterflies, once you have enough, is working on your business, which is kind of what I've been mastering, which is how to build and scale digital businesses. And in that situation, it's a completely different level of skill set, completely different. And the big thing that I learned when I started making my money was, I was saying to some buddies today, I said, my big epiphany, my big humbling moment was, I was a poor guy with money. And what I meant by that was, my mental framework was the mental framework that I was brought in, which is, you need to hustle, you need to work, you need to get a job. And I was taking that same philosophy, but just as a self-employed individual, because if I stopped working, the money would stop coming.
That's the realization I had. Like, the money is good, but that's only if I am pumping out the content on all the platforms. What happens if I stop making content?
And that's where working on the business and building a garden that is kind of self-sustaining, because you have different aspects to it that cross-pollinate, comes in. So you build the loyal following, whatever, if it's a product, if it's a clothing line, if it's a subscription, whatever it may be, it applies for a plethora of niches. You work on it. Take Gymshark, for example. Gymshark is a business. They're not a clothing line. They're a business. They have a loyal fan base, but they have what? Pop-up events. They have their clothing lines.
They just opened a store in London now.
Literally, bro. They have an entire ecosystem. And it's in that ecosystem that you no longer have to be present in order for money to flow. And that's kind of where I've been transitioning. So it's not, I'm a poor guy with money, aka I'm broke. It's, I had a poor mentality of limiting myself, because if I went to the hospital, money would stop coming in. And that's not the situation that I wanted to be in. So to answer your question once again, the biggest skill set that I've developed, or that I would say is my top tier kind of skill set, is building and scaling digital businesses.
What do you think is the number one mistake that a lot of these entrepreneurs are making when they think, they watch all these videos, Mangadzi, maybe they're watching you, a few other people, like, right, okay, I'm going to start a drop shipping business or an agency. What are the biggest mistakes they tend to make?
They don't learn the fundamentals. It's so easy, bro. It's so easy to bank money. You know this. Online, anybody can go out and make 10 grand a month, literally. But who learns taxes? Who learns budgeting? Who learns human resources? Who learns product and inventory management? Who learns scaling and operation? Who learns systems building? Nobody learns those things, because they're the boring parts of the business. And if you don't learn them, you're going to crash. The last thing you want to be is a person that pumps cash but has no ability to retain it. You don't want to be that guy. If you don't understand how to file taxes, if you don't understand how to budget your business. I was talking with a guy in Singapore. He's the son, the former president of Singapore, probably worth a couple $1 billion. He's in real estate development. He's done over 2,500 real estate development projects in Singapore. Super big guy. And
the property prices there are
crazy. So he's like proper balling. So I was having a conversation with him, and he's like, you know what the biggest issue is between the elite and people that make no money? I'm like, what? Financial literacy. He said, most people are financially illiterate, and it's a language. what do you mean it's a language? He's like, yes, finance is the language of the elite. Just like Latin used to be the language prior to the peasants being able to have access to read the Bible, they would have to go to the elite, the popes, the deacon of the church, or whoever was in charge, in order to get what? In order to get the wisdom, because they couldn't read. Nowadays, most people are financially illiterate. And it's in that financial lack of literacy that people get caught.
Yeah.
Why do you need a lawyer? Because you don't know the law.
Yeah.
Why do you need a tax attorney? Because you don't know tax. Yeah, you don't need to know all of it, but if you don't know the basics, anybody can finesse you. And I think that's the biggest issue up and coming entrepreneurs and even developed entrepreneurs make and end up getting screwed on, is they have not developed financial literacy because it's not sexy.
Yeah, and it's not taught in school either.
Literally, bro. Like, for example, in school, what do they teach you about law? What do they teach you about accounting? What do they teach you about business in general, or managing your financials or budgeting? Nothing, bro. Why? Nobody asked why. It's on purpose.
Even I went to university, I did economics and business management, and I was still like, what the fuck is this? Like, the whole reason I did that degree is I thought, I will surely learn how to run a business when I do this degree.
No chance.
No.
I agree, bro.
So essentially, it's really up to you to go out there and learn yourself.
I tweeted the other day, I said, self-education will never betray you. Self-education will never betray you. You have to sit down. You don't like to read books. Nobody gives a fuck. The marketplace doesn't care, dude.
Yeah.
You're not going to learn everything on YouTube. Like, that's what people don't seem to understand. You're not going to learn everything on YouTube. Sometimes you have to crack open the book. Sometimes you have to study.
Yeah.
But people think that studying is what you used to do in school. No, go study a topic that interests you. You can't be out here scrolling on TikTok 24/7 with dopamine hits, thinking that you're going to get financial literacy off of a TikTok short. Yeah, maybe it may give you some insight and information, but what are you going to do with it? It's the foundation, or it may be a data set or a clue to continue learning. But what, you're relying off of a piece of TikTok information, even with our own content, to build your life upon it? No, you have to become self-educated, because most of the education that we have is education of the system. It's not self-education, it's indoctrination. And we despise that. And most people at the age of 6, they're not good at math, and they get told, oh, you're not good at math at the age of fucking 6.
Yeah.
So they grow up their entire life saying, I'm not good at math. I'm not good at reading. So their entire life, they don't develop foundational skills to live their life. You need a foundation. Unless you have a foundation, you cannot build anything sustainable on top of it.